Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the March 10th, 1950 episode of Canadian Championship Wrestling here from Ottawa, Ontario. We've got an interesting show tonight, 3 top matches coming your way, and we start off first with 2 newcomers here in Ottawa, Ed, Don George, and Vic Christie. Let's go down to the ring.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from New York, weighing in at 230 pounds, Edward Don George.
So coming to from our neighbors down south in New York State, Ed Don George out of Hava, New York, 44 years old. Coming into this matchup, he's been a mainstay in the professional wrestling scene for quite some time. Making his debut tonight here in Ottawa, opening up our show. This is going to be an exciting match between George and Christie. Just fantastic action we bring to you every Friday night here in Ottawa.
And his opponent from Huntington Beach, California, weighing in at 224 pounds, Victor Christie.
Actually from Glendale, California, Vic Christie comes to us at 37 years of age. Another interesting debut here in Ottawa. George is a former 5-time AWA World Heavyweight Champion and a former, 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. He also has another World Heavyweight title to his credit from another recognizing body. George starts off pushing Christie back into the corner. Christie himself is a former 2-time World Heavyweight Champion by the same body that recognized George. Christie with a spinning maneuver to plant George face first into the mat. And he also won the MWA World Heavyweight Championship back 3 years ago. So both these guys, former world champions. This should be an interesting match. Right now, George is back on his feet. He's got Christie delivers a suplex, hooking both arms behind his back and delivering the suplex. But Christie takes down George and delivers a kick to the chest. And now he's going to slam the back of George's head into the ring. And delivers a stomp to the back of the arm. Headlock on, but George is able to get out of it. And he puts a headlock, a chin lock on of his own, and now both men are free. George is going to go for the airplane spin. A move designed to get your opponent dizzy. George catches his balance and goes the other way. Definitely going to mess with the equilibrium of Vic Christie. But also, as you can see, Don George is rather wobbly. Now a chin lock applied. Actually, more or less, so trying to yank the head off the body. George going for a slam. Oh my goodness, dropping him throat first over the top rope, and the referee will go for the cover, but Christie's going to get out at 1. That Don George is going to have to do more than that. Irish whip into the ropes, back body drop, and a knee to the back. And the fans seem to be getting behind George early on here. Misses with a drop kick. Christie with a European uppercut. And then a back elbow, taking George down. Hard right hand, but George steps over a blocked kick and delivers a back spinning kick of his own. Unbelievable maneuver. Using the turnbuckle to his advantage, the referee's got to step in here and break this up. That is not allowed in professional wrestling. George showing off to the crowd. Fantastic move. What is he doing here? Look at the strength from Ed Don George into a bridging pin, but he cannot get a 1 count. Referee out of position. Side headlock. Oh, hard right hand. Now George throws Christie over the top rope. Both these men going at it on the floor now. Vic Christie, the silver streak, in trouble as that Don George drops him on the mat outside the floor and then tosses Christie back into the ring. Ed Don George began his in-ring wrestling career in 1929, has spent 21 years since that debut. Actually retired 8 years ago, but the promoters here in Canadian Championship Wrestling were able to convince him to come back for this match. But Christie goes for the cover, cannot get the pinfall, gets a 2 count. Christie with a hard clothesline. Back body drop to George. George may have wished he'd stayed retired, ladies and gentlemen. Spine buster from Christie. He's grabbing George up. Misses a clothesline. George bringing Christie back down, and he goes back to wrenching and yanking at the neck. Grinding that headlock. Christie trying to fight out of it. He's free. We're 5 minutes past into this match already as George with an uppercut. Christie back elbow. Back and forth these two men battle. George wildly misses a dropkick. Not sure what he was going for there. Goes for another one. This time he connects. Head Don George pulling out all the stops. 8 years out of the ring, and he doesn't seem to appear to have lost any rust. Or have any rust, I should say. But Christie delivers a kick and knocks George off his feet. Christie with a stomp. He's going to try and keep George down, but he takes some time to show off to the fans. And right back to work. Oh my goodness, a flying leg scissors vice takedown, and he goes for the cover, and Vic Christie gets the win. Ladies and gentlemen, Vic Christie is able to defeat Ed Don George in his return to a wrestling ring. George might go back into retirement after this one. It was nice to have George back in action, but Christie delivering that leg scissors takedown, whatever you want to call it, and that's enough to get the pin. And Vic Christie
here is your winner, Victor Christie.
It's nice to see new talent coming through Ottawa, giving the fans some of the big names they've read about throughout the 1940s. Here as we begin the 1950s. Ottawa, sure to be a hotbed of professional wrestling. We've got more action coming for you up ahead, so please don't go anywhere. Don't change the channel. We'll be back after these messages.